So I wanted to make a video about my recent experiences with Guilty Gear Strive now that I've played it for almost a week now. And I have to say this, Guilty Gear Strive is fun as hell. Even though I'm still learning how to deal with the new Gatling system and learning new characters and learning the old characters all over again, the game has been really, really fun. Now I'm not going to say that this game doesn't have a fair share of problems, because it does, but I think the gameplay of Guilty Gear Strive is the one thing I have zero complaints about. Yeah, I'm still learning. Learning this new Gatling system is tough because I can't chain moves like I can. I'm starting to rely more on the slash attack now, which is so weird to deal with. But yeah, I'm not the kind of person who can break down the entire system of the game and say, well, this is how things work in this game. I'm a very casual fighting game player at heart, and I play a lot of fighting games. It's just that I've never got too deep into them to learn the nuances and the really deep stuff in regards of them. But I am at least knowledgeable of certain parts of a fighting game. And all I can say is this: Guilty Gear Strive is fun to play. And if I'm having fun, I don't give a shit what other deeper mechanics there are, unless I, go for them, which I will. I'm still playing this game. The game is really fun. And this game is just it feels so refreshing, I played XR a lot. I've been playing XR since 2015, and that's when I got XR signed. It's been a minute. I'm trying to remember exactly when I got it. I know the game came out in 2014, but I didn't think I didn't get it because I had the XR sign for my PS3. And so I got XR signed, and then also I got Revelator. I still got my physical copy of the PS3 version of Revelator, which is funny. And I also got Rev 2 for my PS4. So, playing those games, obviously they add more system mechanics, they add more characters, they add music, story stuff, et cetera, et cetera. And even though that, I still, had fun with Exert. It was having fun with the characters. I mean, I didn't get deep enough to learn all the characters because I sucked at the game. But I did have my fun with it. But with Strive, I feel like I can actually learn something from the game. The tutorial mode is not really a tutorial. It's just like this weird round match that Kai will teach you movement, and then honestly, you don't even have to do the movement stuff in the tutorial. All I did was really run up to Kai and spam the throw button. Boom, I won and got my free 5,000 world dollars. So there's that. But the tutorial mode isn't the tutorial mode, it's a mission. The mission mode is the tutorial mode, which I don't know why they did that. The one thing I don't like about this game is that combo trials are gone. And granted, I never be able to finish all the combo trials, but the fact that I was able to do it in the first place is still nice. Now, I know they probably said that it's going to come in later as a future update. I don't know. I can't really say much about that. But as of the launch version of this game, there is no combo trials, and that kind of bothers me because there are some combos I want to learn with some characters, but I can't. The only way you can really learn a couple of combos for certain characters is you have to go in the mission mode, find the specific trial that has combos where you can choose your own character and do that trial. But it only works once, really. It really only works once. You'll have to do the whole thing again with individual characters, and it just does not replace an actual combo trial. It's just one combo trial, and maybe two, maybe three, but the ones before you get to the last one is not really worth it. It's just one single combo trial. But anyway, as I said before, the way this game functions is that, it's like beginner friendly, but at the same time, it's still Guilty Gear. Everyone kept saying, well, this is not Guilty Gear, dude. This is not Guilty Gear because they dumbed down some things or simplified some things. Yeah, I will admit that they simplified some things, but I think they did it for the better because honestly, there was some shit in Exer that I just could not wrap my head around. Even though the Roman cancel system seemed really, pretty straightforward. I sucked at trying to pull off Roman cancels. I sucked at trying to learn dead angles. I sucked at trying to even learn how to insta block. But the way they teach things here, the way they did the Roman cancel system in this game, which I really love. They gave you an indicator, they got the time system and everything, so you'll learn what you're doing. I like that. And I actually learned it because I didn't know what the hell Roman cancels were like in Exeter. I just freaking canceled a move and I saw a color go around me. But in this game, I actually learned how the damn Roman cancels actually work in this game. And now it's actually really simple for me to learn. Yeah, they simplify some things, but they didn't rip away the spirit of Guilty Gear as some people they really want to believe. They want to believe that this game isn't Guilty Gear, but no, this is Guilty Gear through and through. But the gameplay is really, really fun. I'm learning shit that I didn't even think about before in Exert. You know, I'm learning about shit. I'm learning characters. Okay, can I talk about the characters? Okay, so the game comes out with a 15 character roster, right? And normally, I mean, I'm not going to trip about that because I feel like 15 is the best number to start off with in regards of a brand new fighting game roster. I don't want that shit happening with BlazBlue Fantasy Versus when you only have 11 to 12 characters to start off with. That's garbage, man. Like, shit. There's no excuse for that because, like, oh my god. But anyway, the point is, so we got characters. We got Sol, we got Kai, we got Mei, we got Zato, Ino, Chip, Melia. We got Anji, who's coming back from XX, which is pretty funny. Because I feel like all the characters they brought back from XX, which is funny, they brought back Anji, or Angie, where you want to pronounce that, but I'm pronouncing him as Anji. And funny, he's the only character so far on here they brought back from XX. I'm not going to talk about the data leaks because honestly, that could either be true or false. I like to reserve my opinions on that for when the actual, season pass gets fully available. So, I can't really say more characters are coming from XX. But yeah, funny enough, they brought Anji back. And Anji's a dork, and I love him. I love him just being here. But anyway, they brought back Leo, they brought back Faust, Axel, Potemkin, Ramlethal, and two new characters, Nagoriyuki and Giovanna. Now, I can't really talk about the characters we've always been knowing, because honestly, I mean, their characters have been around in Guilty Gear for like a while now. But as for Nagoriyuki, like, I like this guy, like, and both personality-wise, and just the dude is like one of the coolest Guilty Gear characters ever. And Guilty Gear is a series full of like everyone, like the series of Guilty Gear itself is full of characters who are just cool and metal as hell. And Nagoriyuki, I feel like he's like the zenith of that. You cannot get any cooler than a vampire samurai black man who looks sick as shit, who can just drain your blood with his sword, and he's pretty much a big weeb when you think about it. And he's so cool that, like, I can't play as Nagoriyuki worth a damn, but he's just that damn cool. I can't play him worth a damn because I honestly do not like slow characters, but he's awesome. He even has one of the coolest colors in the game, that being a red color, and that's one of the coolest colors in the goddamn game. I just honestly just. Shit, man. And there's also Giovanna. Now, Giovanna is meant to be like the beginner-friendly, rush-down character. Honestly, I'm still working her out because I think she has like the least amount of moves in this game. I haven't, gone through every character yet. I've played all of them through the arcade run, but as for like, trying to get good at any of them, I haven't got far yet. But Giovanna, even though they call her beginner-friendly, I still am trying to figure out how to get her to work down. I love to aim after characters who are quote-unquote beginner-friendly because that's just who I am. It doesn't matter what fight game I play, I'll always aim after the character. Either you're the main character or you're the character who's, just easier to play because that's how I work. And even they call Giovanna easy to play. I'm still trying to work her out. Like, she still has some stuff under the hood that doesn't make her super easy to play, but like, it's like the whole thing of, easy to get into, hard to master kind of thing. Like, I haven't got even close to even figuring out how the hell Giovanna works, but I'm happy to have her here. She's crazy as well. But yeah, all the characters are here, and there's 5 more characters coming for DLC. Personally, as for DLC, and again, I'm not going to talk about the the placeholders because again, they could easily be wrong or they could be right. I don't know, but I can't really think of anyone I want. I mean, if it were up to me, I would want characters like Elfelt to come back. I would want Bridget to come back. Oh my god, I miss that little guy. And Happy Chaos definitely needs to be character because I actually find him really fun in the story mode. Now, as for story mode stuff, I'm going to talk about that in this video. Honestly, the story mode ramblings we'll be having for another video entirely. I kind of don't want to do that right now. I just want to leave that for a whole video because there's a lot more to talk about. And plus I have to go to a lot of history of Guilty Gear up that point, so I can't really skim around that. Yeah, the 15 character roster is pretty diverse, and everyone's, I feel like it has a good variety. I can't play as characters like Axel worth shit, but I'm glad to have him here. Angie, I actually started playing as him, and I started figuring him out, and I never even bothered to touch Angie, and in Guilty Gear XX, never even bothered to do such a thing. And, obviously Sol is just insane in this game. Everyone's insane in this game. Everyone's a gorilla in this game, and I just find that hilarious. Now, moving from the character roster, we move to the character themes. And, everyone was really worried about the character themes as of the previews, where they heard about about 20 seconds of each song. Everyone was confused and scared, and like, oh man, Daisuke, what did you do? But I had no reason to worry. Yeah, I understand, like, some people had their previews kind of like, you know, the previews didn't do the songs justice at all. I mean, the only songs we really knew of were Chip's theme, Potemkin's theme, Faust's theme, and the Goriyuki and Giovanna's. The only, like, and they left out, funny enough, they left out Soul and Kai, which I find hilarious. They waited, like, until the game got released to even bother talking about Soul or Kai's things, which I just find hilarious, even though they're the main damn characters. But honestly, there was nothing really to worry about, because all the songs are really good. I think my favorite of, like, obviously they're all good, but I think my favorite of the songs in Strive is Zato's theme, Let Me Carve Your Way. I was not expecting, after the preview heard, I was like, I was still hopeful, right? But the preview didn't do this song justice. Honestly, hearing the whole song is like such an experience. It's insane. Like, I'm not gonna talk about I'm not gonna talk about the bigger picture of the song, because I already talked about that in my top 5 favorite Guilty Gear Strive songs. But honestly, the song is really, really good. Like, I cannot stop screaming Vanish into Dark. Like, it's insane. Everyone's talking about the last minute or so of the song, how, like, you know, how emotional it is. As much as I like that part of the song, I like just the actual song before that way more than the actual last bits. And no one will ever agree with me on that part. That's an unpopular opinion, but I like the actual song before we get to the sad, sweet memories part. Yeah, I just obviously May's theme, The Disaster of Passion, kind of took over the internet, which is just funny to me. Yeah, the actual song is still good though, but everyone's song has everyone has just a really good song. The lyrics definitely help the experience too. Like, Ino's song, like, her lyrics are just depressing, and it really fits in her whole character being this weird, timey-wimey witch mesh of humanity's desires, but also being, you know, there's more to say, but I don't want to spoil it here. That's story stuff. But yeah, Leo's theme, Hellfire, is, like, I like this song on the lyrics alone. Yeah, the song is good itself, but the lyrics just, like, heighten this song for it. Now, you know that Leo is not this happy, crazy guy. He always brings himself as he's actually really, really sad and really, really depressed and has severe PTSD. So, you know, I'm glad they actually had the lyrics bundled with the digital soundtrack, because now you know what they are, and it's really, really sad. I think my least favorite song on the soundtrack is Necessary Discrepancy, and that's Ramlethal's theme. And I'm not saying that it's necessarily a bad song. It's not bad at all, but I feel like there's some parts of the song that could have been, you know, either cut out or done better. For example, Aisha doesn't get to sing much, and I think when Aisha sings, it's the best parts of the song. Nothing against Naoki Hashimoto. I'm just saying that, like, she makes the song, like, the beginning parts of the song, she makes the beginning parts of the song actually really good. And there are some parts in the middle of the song where, like, Daisuke's guitar work kind of goes kind of weird, and it's not my favorite parts of the song. It kind of just breaks up the flow of the song. But other than that, the beginning parts of the song is fine. The callbacks to Diva is cool, and the ending parts of the song is fine. But, like, that's that beginning part. It's hard to describe what I mean without actually busting out the song. But when you hear the song and they get to that part where Daisuke starts changing up the guitar tempo, and when Naoki goes never, never, like, it's that part of the song that kind of ruins it for me, and that makes it my least favorite song. Don't get me wrong, it's still a damn good song, but it's my least favorite, at least, of the soundtrack. But other than that, everyone has a damn good song. Like, oh my god, like I sweet Jesus, like, when people are out there saying that they hate the songs, I'm like, dude, y'all have some, like, look, understandably, music taste is subjective. Music taste is subjective between everyone. We all will not like the same music, but, like, in the case of Guilty Gear and Guilty Gear Strive's music, if you say you hate any of these songs, you have actual shit music taste. I'm not defending that one. I will defend anyone having, like, you know, differing music tastes. But if you're ragging on the Guilty Gear Strive soundtrack, you sir or ma'am have really shit music taste, and you should not listen to any of these songs. But yeah, damn good soundtrack. This is Guilty Gear. I was a little bit worried, you know, for some songs, but I had no reason to worry. I should honestly kick my own ass for having a little faith in Daisuke like I did. So after talking about all those praises of the game, what's one thing I don't like about Strive? The actual single-player content is laughable. And yeah, I talked about that in my previous video I made, where like I said that the single-player content of this game is not good. And yeah, some people are like, well, this game had to be released at a certain amount of time, but like, I just don't like the idea of companies releasing games that cost full price with barely anything in it. I don't care if the game was released because of COVID like this. If you're going to release a game, it has to be worth my money. I don't want to sound like an entitled asshole, but if you're dropping some money on this game, right? If you're going to drop $60 on a video game, I would expect the video game itself to be worth the amount of money. Now, don't get me wrong, Strive is a damn good game, and it's a damn good game, but I would prefer if someone would wait for a sale to come out, or at least wait till the game at least is $40, you know, like, you know, or, I mean, yeah, getting it now would be more preferable because everyone's online at this point. Everyone's playing the game now, so it's that kind of issue where, like, because of the rollback in this game and everyone's playing it now, you might have to just get it now if you want to get the full experience, because once the game goes on, the player numbers dip, that's going to be when it gets tough, even with the rollback. So that's the sad thing is, if this was any other fighting game, I would definitely say wait for a sale. Like, if this was BlazBlue Fantasy Versus, oh hell yeah, wait for a sale, because that game is not worth the $120 it advertises itself as. To hell to the no. But with Strive, yeah, I would prefer if you just buy this game now, even if you have the money to burn, or if you just get it on the cheap. Yeah, just get the game in general. But yeah, as I said before, the single player content is laughable, at least. Arcade mode doesn't have the usual standard arcade mode. Now, I do like the idea that it's like paths, you know? It'll start you off on the hard mode, and if you lose the hard mode, it'll drop you down to normal. But if you beat the hard mode, the first initial hard mode fight, it'll bring you into the extreme route. And if you beat the extreme route, you'll have to fight a secret knife enemy, which is another boss, Nagoriyuki, which is way stronger than the previous Nagoriyuki. And it's a good idea and concept, but like, one thing I don't like about the arcade mode in this game is, one, it doesn't have the little stories that it does. Now, probably they'll add it later, but again, I'm not holding my breath for that, you know, honestly. If it's released like this, then it's an issue, you know. I know Guilty Gear usually be in arcades first, and I totally get that. You can't be an arcade first because of COVID now, understandably, but still, it was released like this. It was dropped on the PlayStation Store like this. It was dropped on the Steam Store like this. It was released as a physical copy as this. I'm going to judge it on its launch appearance. And can I say that the physical copy of this game sucks ass? Like, I'm gonna say this: Strive physically, when it's given to you, it's the beta version of the game. And by that I mean it has the 15 characters there, but it doesn't have the dub, and it doesn't have half the story mode, and it doesn't have all the character themes. Honestly, that's like the worst thing to see, because if you don't have internet and you're planning to play this game offline, tough luck. You don't even have half the shit in this game you paid for. I don't like how it launched like that. I just don't like the way this game came out, you know? Like, the gameplay is solid and fun, but everything else around it kind of sucks, you know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know why the physical copy came out there, because when I saw it for the first time, I have a physical copy of Strive, so when I booted up for the first time, I was like, are you kidding me? Where, like, you only get, like, Faust's theme, Potemkin's theme, Chips, Giovanna's, and Nagoriyuki's. Like, I can understand that somewhat, but why is the English dub gone, considering that was in the previous beta? That's dumb, you know? Why the hell is the English dub gone? That's stupid. But yeah, half the story mode was gone, you know, etc., etc. Like, half the shit was just gone. Hell, even the quick start for the online mode wasn't even in the base copy. Like, oh my god. But yeah, so if you're planning to get a physical copy, you better make sure you have some internet, because you're gonna have to download the rest of the game. I don't like that. Again, like, ugh. But yeah, arcade mode is not really good, but at least I like the routes. I don't like it how it starts you off on hard mode. I kind of wish it just started you off on normal mode, then you fight the normal enemy, you get you get bumped up to hard mode, and then if you beat hard mode, you go up to extreme. Like, I don't know. I don't like the fact that it started you off on hard already, but, you know, I'm not gonna trip about that. The other thing I don't like about this game is the actual, like, fishing mechanic. Now, in the gallery mode, they gave you the ability to unlock artwork. They gave you the ability to unlock past songs from previous Guilty Gear games. They even threw in songs from Xrd, right? They threw in songs from Xrd. They threw in songs from Itsuka. They threw songs in from Overture. They even threw some songs in from Itsuka that I wasn't really expecting. Like, there are songs that in Xrd weren't added in because A, there were some certain characters that weren't in the games. For example, if someone like Izuna wasn't in Xrd, then his song Hiru Andon wouldn't be in that game. Or someone like Testament wasn't in Xrd, his song Bloodstained Lineage or A Fixed Idea wouldn't have been in Xrd, because if his character wasn't in there, the song wouldn't have been in there. But the one thing that surprised me about this game is that they added songs that Daisuke didn't make. Now, some songs in Xrd weren't even in the game because Daisuke didn't make them. He didn't make them at all. So songs like, let's say, As of Strive, the songs like Rift in the Clouds, that wasn't from Itsuka. That wasn't made by Daisuke at all. It wasn't made by Daisuke, and it's surprisingly to see it in here. Songs like the Blue Practice from Itsuka wasn't made by Daisuke. The song called The Out of World from Itsuka wasn't made by Daisuke, but somehow they made their way into Strive. And I just find that weird, but that's the coolest thing ever. But like, what bums me out about the gallery is that it seems like a severe afterthought, right? This is an afterthought through and through. For one thing, there's a lot of story mode themes from Guilty Gear Xrd in this gallery. Now, honestly, I wouldn't have an issue with that. I really wouldn't have an issue with that at all. But one thing you can't do with the story mode themes from Xrd is listen to them in like battle. And okay, I can forgive that. But the problem is that there's no way to unlock the songs yourself in this gallery. You can't do that at all. The only way to unlock these songs is through the fishing gacha. And that's literally a gacha. You have to throw your game money in there in order to even get the songs. And funny enough, the only song you got automatically unlocked is Smell of the Game, which I'm not shocked about. But there is an unreasonable amount of story mode themes from Xrd in this game. And I have no idea why there are so many of them. There are a lot. Like, they take up about half the goddamn gallery. Like, there's so many story mode themes from Rev 2, Revelair, Xrd. Like, I think XR Sign. I think they just took all of them and just stuffed them in this gallery mode. And funny enough, they don't have the name themes. Like, they don't even have the names that they have from the CD, so they're just like, oh, story mode BGM number 3, story mode BGM number 4, tense situation 1, personal fear. Like, so these songs aren't even the name of the songs in the goddamn CD, so you don't, even if you know them, you don't know what you want to unlock. And like, I'm like, why are there so many songs from Xrd story mode theme in this game? And what's worse about it is they take up the gacha too. They're in the gacha, and you can't even listen to them during battle. Like, you can't do that at all. Like, there's literally no way for you to do that. They're just there. They're just there. And they just take up space for no good reason. They just take up space. Like, all the songs you wanted from past Guilty Gear games, you can't do that. Now, I wish they would have just threw in more songs, Like, honestly, it just feels like a waste to have them here and not get any use out of them, Like, and because this game is just, like, I just don't know why. Like, that's what bothers me. That's what bothers me so much. I feel like they could have gotten more mileage out of adding songs from, like, the live CDs. Like, there's some songs from, like, the live soundtracks where they could have added in, like, from their concerts and shit. I don't know why they couldn't add those songs, and they own the songs, But yeah, there's zero way of unlocking the songs, like, at all, right? They don't unlock, you can't unlock them, like, with world dollars. You have to unlock them through the gacha, and I think that's just, like, the worst thing ever. Like, songs like Shotgun and Head, you can't even, like, no, here's the thing. Songs like Lily, or songs like Icarus, that you couldn't even play an excerpt as a fight song. You can fight to them in this game. You can fight to them and strive, but you can't do it unless you unlock the songs through the gacha. And I think that's one of the worst things. And I think just the worst thing about this game is that the only thing majority of things you unlock through the gacha is your goddamn lobby avatar shit. And I hate that so much because they take most of the gacha. 90% of the time, when you do a fishing minigame, you unlock nothing but the goddamn lobby avatars. And I don't give a shit about these lobby avatars. I have zero investment in these things. And the fact that they take up most of the gacha sucks. And I don't know how they butchered it so bad. They did it so right next to it. All you had to do was spend 2,000 world dollars on any song you wanted from, the games. It wasn't that hard. Shit. I mean, I like the ideas. They have concept art in here, and that's great. That's great. I don't know why it was so hard for them to just let you download the shit. They could have easily just let you download the damn songs. Not download songs, my bad. Unlock the songs, right? It really wasn't that hard to just let you freaking use your world dollars that you've collected and just purchase the damn songs from the gallery. But no, they decided to push everything to the fishing gacha, and then there you go. You're pretty much just screwed. There's nothing you can do about it. And yeah, so basically, and on top of that, each arcade run will only net you 2,000 world dollars for one run. Now, I tested this out many times. I deleted my save file, I reloaded my save file, I deleted it again and again just to test out something. So yeah, if you do arcade mode once with a character, that's your finite run. You only get 2,000 world dollars. And yeah, because in XR you get world dollars based on how much damage you do to a certain character, based on your rank, based on how many battles you win. You get to at least about 3,000 to 4,000 depending on how well you do, but you only get 2,000 per character for that one run. So that means if you do all 15 characters, you get a maximum of 30,000 world dollars, and that's it. So basically, the only way to get world dollars is to grind online. And yeah, that's a way you can do it, but if you want to do this stuff single player, you're boned. And yeah, but there was a weird thing that happened to me last night. I fought Nagoriyuki with Chip, and for some reason I gained 4,000 instead of your 2,000 run. So I can only guess that if you beat Nagoriyuki without getting killed once, because that's never happened to me in my runs. If you beat Nagoriyuki without getting killed once, they'll give you 4,000 instead of 2,000, which, yeah, good luck with that, because boss Nagoriyuki is extremely cheap and bullshit. He'll block right as you use your super, so he'll know when you put in your inputs for your attacks. So yeah, there's that, even with two characters. But other than that, yeah, that's all I gotta say about Guilty Gear Strive. Also, yeah, there's only 6 colors per character in the base game. Really booty. I hate DLC colors. I hate DLC colors, but whatever. I'm not gonna spend any longer than I have to talking about that. But other than that, yeah, Guilty Gear Strive is a good, solid game at least. It's a good, solid game. It looks beautiful. I didn't forget to talk about that, but I'm not gonna, it's too late now. I've already spent almost 30 minutes talking. But yeah, it's a beautiful game. It's a really fun game. Honestly, if you really wanted to get into Guilty Gear, this is the time to do it. Get into Strive now. Do it. Everyone's playing now, so you have the best opportunity to get into. And also make sure you have PS Plus. But other than that, yeah, this game is good, but honestly, I can't rank it any higher. If I were to rank this right, I couldn't rank it any higher because of the shitty story mode stuff. No, not shitty story mode, my bad. Shitty single-player content. I will talk about story mode another time. Shitty single-player content. I would say Strive gets about an 8 out of 10 for me if I were to rank it. Maybe a 7 out of 10. Honestly, the side content is so bad that the gameplay is the only thing that's the saving grace. And this is actually really pitiful for Guilty Gear, I'm not gonna lie. Honestly, Xrd didn't start off as good. It had arcades to go through. It had time to work in, but as Strive is now, nah. I hope it gets more content later in the future, and hope they fix some things like the goddamn fishing gacha, but other than that, yeah. Launch Strive is a good fighting game. Just not a good game. It's a good fighting game. It's a good game, but it's not my If I had the opportunity to play Xrd again, if I had the opportunity to play Xrd Sign again, I kind of would. But yeah, at least this game is fun. At least this game is really fun. It's beautiful. Gameplay is really, really solid. So play Guilty Gear Strive. If you just want to go straight online, do it. Also, you don't gain any world dollars from being story mode. I don't know why they stopped doing that. That's really bad. Good luck wasting 4 hours of your life on the story mode if you don't care just to get the world dollars, because you don't get any. But anyway, yeah. My next video is talking about Guilty Gear Strive will most likely be on the story. So yeah, watch out for that. So see you all next time. You know, the amount of time I spent talking, I completely forgot to talk about the damn dub of the game. Honestly, I've wanted to talk about this for a while now, because Guilty Gear Strive is the first game since Xrd Sign to have an English dub for the Guilty Gear characters. Honestly, when Xrd Revelator came out and people were pissed about the lack of dub, I was too. I'm like, why would you do that? You know, like, why waste your time dubbing a game and not follow up? Obviously, ARCSYS has never done that before, Central Fiction. But yeah, it's funny to me that they actually, like, the funny thing about it is Daisuke himself actually came forward to talk about that. Daisuke Ishiwatari himself came forward to talk about the game and saying, yeah, there will be an English dub option. And I'm like, that's never happened. I have never seen the creator of a goddamn game, a Japanese creator, come forward and say, yeah, this game will be dubbed. Never in my life, man. Never in my life. You would never see Mori come forward and tell you, yeah, dude, game will be dubbed, bruh. You would never see that shit. But yeah, you'll never see that. But anyway, yeah, I'm like that this game is dubbed. One thing is that Guilty Gear talks, like, Guilty Gear, I'm just happy that this game has a dub. Honestly, everyone's dub voice is great. You know, Nagoriyuki's is great. Milia's is excellent because it's still Terra Platt. Chip's Edward Bosco, he grew on me. You know, Edward Bosco wasn't exactly my favorite voice, but now he's grown on me a lot as Chip after a while. After hearing back him in Xrd Sign again, hearing him here. You know, I like the guy. He makes Chip sound way more energetic. Kai as Sean Chiplock, if I remember correctly. Excellent voice for him. I still like Sam Riegel too, but I feel like Sean Chiplock actually gives him more. I feel like he fits more Kai now, you know? Like, when Sam Riegel, he fit more of the, you know, kingly Kai, right? This, Sean Chiplock fits the more dad Kai, you know, badass dad Kai, if I get that point across, you know? Like, two different voices, but they fit both of the characters in their own way. Now, May is apparently still Eden Regal, and I don't know how to feel about that. She sounds okay, but they made her voice, like, higher pitched, so she sounds younger in this game. I'm not a fan of that change. I actually liked her a lot more back in Sign. Like, I think the voice she used, the little, somewhat more mature voice she used, kind of fits with the idea of May being a 20-year-old, for Christ's sakes, but I feel like May kind of regressed in age from Sign to Strive, and I don't know how to feel about that. Zato is still Matthew Mercer. Now, for the life of me, I cannot remember Ino's the voice actress for Ino, because my mind slips so hard thinking about that. Because like every time I started thinking about the characters, because obviously I know Ino got replaced with a new voice actress, and I'm like, okay, cool, but like, for the life of me, I just like stalled for a second, because normally I do these videos off the cuff, so I don't, you know, go hard on the research that it requires to make when I want to make these videos. So like, I remember them just off the top of my head for what they did on Twitter. I know Ino's voice was previously Terra Platt, if I remember correctly. Like, her old voice back in Xrd Sign was Terra Platt, but if I remember correctly, if I'm using the name wrong, her new voice actress is named Amber Lee Connors. And honestly, I feel like Amber Lee Connors does an amazing Ino. Like, the voice fits her so well in this game. I will talk about how Ino became one of my favorite Guilty Gear characters in the story video, but honestly, Amber Lee Connors does an amazing job as Ino, and I really like her voice in this game. Honestly, like, it fits like almost like too well, you know? Like, I don't know how to describe it other than that, but the voice fits like just way too well, and I'm not gonna lie, it kind of creeps me out a bit. Like, just hearing like a character who sounds like they fit perfectly. Yeah, like Amber Lee Connors does a great like an amazing Eno. I'm not saying Terra Platt didn't do an amazing Eno, but she does an amazing Eno. Now for Angie, this is his first time getting an English voice actor, and their name is Kai Min. Honestly, they do a great Angie too. Like they also say his Japanese words like really well, so I appreciate that. Leo is still Jameson Price, which of course he is. There's no way they were gonna replace his ass. Faust is still Kaiji Tang, so that's really good. He puts a more creepy voice on, and rather Faust is over the top, haha, I'm a crazy doctor kind of deal. So yeah, that's also something new. It's nice to see Kaiji Tang, trying aim after this creepier Faust. He does a good job. Now, Axel is not Liam O'Brien like he was last time. He is now voiced by someone else, Alexander Gross. I apologize if I butchered his name, but I don't know. I'm not a fan of Axel's voice. I mean, it sounds fine, but I think it's like my least favorite, kind of one. But I'm happy for him. I'm honestly really happy for him because he actually wanted to be Axel. He wanted to voice it, which is actually kind of cool. So it's nice to see a fan of a game become a voice actor. So that's really nice. I'm not a big fan of the voice though. I'm not a big fan of the voice, but I mean it's fine. Potemkin is now voiced by a dude named Armin Taylor. I'd never heard of Armin Taylor before, but I think he does a good Potemkin. He says Mega Fist kind of weird, but I can kind of forgive that. I am not some expert on voice acting. I can't tell you how a voice actor sounds to me other than just saying, yeah, they sound like this, so it's okay to be. So yeah. So now Ramlethal is a new voice actress too. She used to be Erin Fitzgerald back in Exert Sign, but now she's voiced by Laura Strahl. Laura Strahl does a great Ramlethal. Erin Fitzgerald was kind of controversial as Ramlethal because she sounded fine to me, but Erin Fitzgerald brought up this thing where she didn't want to voice Ramlethal this time in Strive. She said only black women, maybe black people should voice black characters, which Ramlethal isn't black, and I honestly think Erin Fitzgerald just didn't know what she was saying, especially considering that she's voiced a lot of other characters that weren't black. So, and Ramlethal isn't black. She's not black. That's all I can say about that. She's not black. She's not black. Come on, Erin. I don't know where Erin Fitzgerald came with that one at, but my own little theory is that she wasn't called back for Ramlethal, and she's kind of just want to make a big deal out of it. I didn't want to say that, but I kind of just feel like that Erin Fitzgerald wasn't called back for Ramlethal, and then when she heard the game was coming back with a dub, she kind of just wanted to make a big deal because nobody wanted her back. I didn't want. That sounds mean as hell, but I swear to God, I feel like that's the case. And nothing against Erin Fitzgerald because I like her voice work, but at the same time, that's what I believe. But anyway, yeah. And the next English voice actress I want to talk about is Giovanna. Now, Giovanna's new to this game. She was voiced by Lilimar Hernandez. I even talk it's man. She sounds actually really good though. I don't know why. She sounds really good. I haven't much to say about her. There's also the non-playable characters like Happy Chaos, who's voiced by Robbie Damon. Does an amazing job as Happy Chaos. I hope he becomes playable. Gold Lewis Dickinson was voiced by Steve Barr. I swear to God I heard that name before, but for the life of me, I just cannot remember. But yeah, the dub does an amazing job. I didn't talk about Soul as David Forsyth. I don't know what to say. Soul as David Forsyth was always one of my least favorite choices for his role. He got better. He got better from when he was in Exart Sign. When Soul is just talking, right? He's just normally talking, just talking like a normal dude. He sounds really, really good. I won't lie, David Forsyth does a good job as Soul when he's just talking, but when he's in battle, he does grunts and attacks and says attacks name. He sounds like he's trying a bit too hard to sound menacing / cool. And, I'm not gonna lie, it grew on me a bit. Actually hearing him, how he goes, Gunflame, or where he's where he's trying to when he tries to say volcanic, like volcanic vapor. Like he just sounds so funny to me that he just grown on me. I can't hear him any other way now. I have to keep Soul on English now because he says every single attack in the funniest way ever. Like it makes me laugh, and he's really grown on me because of that. He sounds so weird that I love him for that. So David Forsyth kind of just wormed his way into my heart and soul. Like honestly, he just sounds so funny. He sounds fine when he's going Tyrant Ray, but when he's trying to do any other attack, and when he's like, "You're not going anywhere," like he sounds so raspy. Like he sounded really raspy back in Xrd, right? He's like, I gave the idea of that he sounds like Soul after smoking a ton of cigarettes, right? And granted, yeah, Soul is a smoker. His goddamn sword is a goddamn lighter. So, there's Soul, automatically there. But I just, I don't know what direction they were going with Soul, because, his original Japanese voice is a lot deeper. He's a lot deeper, more baritone. He's like, you can definitely hear how serious it is and how, manly Soul is. But here, he sounds like Soul if he became an anime villain. It just sounds like Soul if he became an anime villain, and I just can't get over that. Like, hearing how he talks is just the funniest thing ever. Sadly, it kind of sucks that he never got to voice Heavy Mob Cemetery. I find that kind of sad, though, right? I find that kind of sad, because I would have loved if he did Heavy Mob Cemetery. Like, he never says it. He only says he only says, he goes Dragon and Stone, like Dragon and Stone, and say it like that. But yeah. David Forsyth, you done a good job, man. I'm not gonna lie, it's so weird that I could accept it, Like David Forsyth was not my favorite, but now that he's just voicing Soul in this fashion, it makes it all worth it for me. It makes it all worth it. But other than that, everyone's English voice is amazing. So yeah, that's all I have to say about the English voices in this game.